So now we will work on sign up process. So let's go to auth form, and here first of all let's import use state from React, and then const val set val. It will be name. Initially it will be empty string. Email and password. And now handle change function to capture key press. Set val existing values, and then we will pick by name attribute. So the way this target name works is something like this. It will target for this field, it will target this name field, which is this, and it will grab its value, and here it will target this email, and here password. So their value will be val dot name, and on change will be handle change, and here is a typo, it's val. So for this it will be val dot and next password. Next we will have handle submit function, which we will call on form submission. It will be an asynchronous function. We will prevent the default behavior of form submission, e.prevent default, and we will call it here on form tag on submit handle submit. Now we can write Supabase queries here in this file, but I will keep it separate. So in app I will create endpoint directory, and here auth.js. Here we will import create client, which we have here in client file, this one. Import create client from utils client, and then we will create it instance const supabase equals to create client. Export const signup API. It will accept data from auth form, and here await supabase dot auth dot sign up. It will take email, which comes from val dot email, and password val dot password. Now this returns a response, that's why we are awaiting it. And once we have successfully authenticated, we will store the record in database as well. So here we will check if not res.error. As you can see, it returns data and error, so we will check for error. So if there is no error, then we will add a record in database. Await Supabase, and this time we will use from to mention the table, which is users in this case. And on this user table we will use insert method, and we need to pass values. So for ID we will link this record to this authentication result. So here res.data dot user, and it has ID. And next we will also store name, which comes from val, and then email, val dot email. Let's store it in a variable. In fact, it will also return data and error. So it will return error if there is any. So this is the error we will be returning to our component. Return error. Not here, within this if block. And don't forget to export this signup API. And now in auth form, since this handle submit will be used for both login and sign up, so we will check for this is login. So if is login, then we will do something else sign up. So await sign up API, which is imported from endpoint slash auth, and it takes well this one. And we are returning error, so let's store it in error. And if not error, then we will redirect user to home page. So let's import use router from next slash navigation and store it in router. And here if not error, then router dot push slash. Now let's give it a try. So here sign up, password is not defined. Okay, I need to add its value initially empty string. Sign up, redirected to home page. And if we check our authentication, there is the user we just created, and table editor users, this is the record, ID, name, email. This ID will match to this one because we have linked it here, res.data user ID. So right now we are signed up. So let's work on dynamically switching these. So here in navigation, we will track auth state change. So from our Supabase client file, we will import create client, and we also need use effect here. Let's create this create client instance. Const Supabase equals to create client, and within use effect Supabase dot auth dot on auth state change, which will give us event and session. Let's also import use state here. User set user, and here we will update this set user. If session has user, so if session has user, then set user will have session.user, otherwise false. That's what this symbol is doing. If condition is true, then it will update set user with this value, otherwise this one. And here we will check if user, then we will show this logout button. Otherwise login and sign up. So let's give it a try. You are using import, yes, and we are using use effect, so we have to make this component use client. Now we are already authenticated, so here is our logout button. Refresh, initially false, so we saw login and sign up for a split of second and then log out. So now let's work on this logout functionality. Export const logout API async await supabase dot auth dot sign out. And here let's create a function handle logout. Call logout API function and then redirect user back to login screen. So here use router from next/navigation, store it in router variable, router dot replace slash login, and we will call this function on button click. Logout, and we are back to login. So now let's work on this login. Let me copy this. It will be login API and it will use Supabase auth dot sign in with password. It will take email and password, and now we don't need this. Actually we just need this error, so return res dot error. And here in auth form, within this if is login block, await login API imported from endpoints slash auth, and it will take val, and the same approach. Login, logout. So our authentication is done here. And in fact, why not make this route protected? So this is here. Now it's our server component, so we will import create client from server file. So let's do that. create client, and it will be util/server. Mark it asynchronous and await. In fact, let's create first of all its instance. Supabase equals to create client, and the create client from server file returns promise, so we have to await it. And this instance, it doesn't return promise, that's why we have not added await. But server side, we have to add it. And now here we will get the user. So supabase dot auth dot get user. So here we will check for the session. If a user is logged in, then we will allow him to visit this home URL. Otherwise we will redirect to login screen. So if not res dot wait a minute, yes, this returns promise, so await res dot data dot user, then redirect, and this redirect will come from next/navigation slash login. If user is not login, then he will be redirected to login, otherwise we will proceed him for to home screen. So let's save this file, and I am already redirected to login. Let's try again home screen, redirected to login, and when we are logged in, yep, we are able to visit home page. So our authentication is done. Next we will work on uploading the files to storage, and will link it to database.